Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the show, the podcast, episode 100 and plus. Episode 100 plus. Happy New Year. I hope you guys all enjoyed New Year's Eve / New Year's Day, weren't too hungover. If drinking is your vibe. Otherwise, I just hope you guys have already gotten a good jump start on any New Year's resolutions you might have made. And you're just living life in 2023. 2023 will be our year. And by our year, I mean everybody's. Unless, of course, it's not. And then 2024 is for you. Today, we are going to talk about in my opinion, of course, the 5 most likely options for the cover of MLB The Show 23. It is now the new year. Hopefully, kind of soon, within the next 3 to 4 weeks, we should be getting some information about the cover star. Last year, it dropped, I believe it was end of January, early February is when we learned that Shohei would be on the cover. Shohei, of course, as a dual threat player, a two-way player, was the first pitcher ever featured on the cover of an MLB The Show franchise. That was not precedent-setting, in my opinion, just because he is a two-way player and he is known for being excellent at both things. So, right off the bat, I'm eliminating pitchers from this conversation. I could be wrong. MLB The Show could always throw a curveball. Hopefully it doesn't hang in the middle of the zone. And give us somebody who, like a Justin Verlander, who at age like 77 years old is still a superstar. But just taking precedent into account, we're going to go with all the hitters, the 5 hitters, position players, I think will be cover options. Now, this does not include the chance that they do what they did in MLB The Show 17 when they put Ken Griffey Jr. on the cover. I'm excluding legend covers. Because I think they did this with the Jackie Robinson legend cover in 21. They will do a current player on the quote-unquote normal cover, and then if they give us an extra bonus edition, a digital edition, a legend edition, that will be where maybe we get a Jeter, an A-Rod, or my dream would be to put, I've said this before, Jeter, A-Rod, and Nomar all on the cover. Like that era, the golden era of early 2000 shortstops. Super cool. Super cool. So these 5 predictions do not, I repeat, do not include those players. Now, what I will be doing is I will just be leaving on the screen on YouTube the highest version of the player that we currently have in MLB The Show 22. There are probably mock covers all over the internet of a lot of these guys. There's a lot of great artists in the MLB The Show community. I'm not even going to name them because I'm afraid I will accidentally exclude another one who might be just as good or even better. But just know there are a ton of card art wizards on Instagram, Twitter. Go find them. Go look at their mock covers, especially for the person we think is going to be the number 1 cover option. And they're just insane. They're absolutely just beautiful. So guys, thank you so much for watching. If you're on YouTube, like, subscribe. Comment down below your cover ideas. I want 2 things in your comments, okay? Which current player do you think is going to be the normal cover? And then which legend, new legend most likely, would you want to see as a legend edition? All right? So let's get into this here. So number 5, we're going to go in least likely to most likely as far as my 5 options. So we're going to start here with Aaron Judge. Aaron Judge hit 62 home runs this season. He was on the cover in 2018. So it is not impossible, though it is unlikely, that a player would be on a cover of MLB The Show for the second time. He was the cover in 18. Joe Mauer was a cover twice, consecutive years. So the reason I have Aaron Judge on this list is because of his historic season. They could do a super cool, like, not legend edition, I'm sorry, like milestone edition or record breaker edition or something like that. But we have to acknowledge the elephant in the room, and that's why I'm really not sold on Aaron Judge being on the cover. I have to add him and include him on this list. I'm a dumb Yankee homer, but also the season he had, he's one of the faces of baseball. Of course, it would make sense to put him on a cover. But let's go back to 2019 when Bryce Harper was on the cover. I know for a fact, based on what I've heard people talk about, that Bryce Harper was a free agent that offseason, and that created nightmares for SDS as far as doing the cover shoot And, oh, do we brand him on a team? Do we not? What they ended up doing was they just shot him in plain clothes, like athletic plain clothes. The cover looked fine, but it didn't have that dynamic feel as if he were a member of the Nationals or then the Phillies. So, yes, Aaron Judge ultimately ended up re-signing with the Yankees. So, there's a chance they could make it work with an action shot as opposed to a posed with a backdrop and things like that. However, because he was not signed until December, my guess is SDS probably wanted to do cover shoot mocks earlier, like mid-November, end of November. Aaron Judge, just because of his free agency, may have eliminated himself from being on the cover of MLB The Show. Now, a lot of that is just kind of me spitballing. I do think it makes some sense, though, when you think about all the logistics that go behind marketing and branding and crowdsourcing options and opinions on a game like this. So because Aaron Judge, he didn't delay himself signing with the Yankees. He actually signed pretty quickly. But because there were those like 4 to 5 weeks in between the end of the season and him ultimately signing, there is a chance that eliminated him from the MLB The Show cover discussion. Again, as a dumb, stupid, biased Yankee fan, I'd love to have Aaron Judge on the cover again. I have the actual baseball card of Aaron Judge's 2018 cover, so that'd be super, super cool. I just think now with the way that SDS does art and card art, and we saw with Takashi, and we see with this milestone card on the screen right now, a new Aaron Judge cover could be sick. Absolutely insane. So he's my number 5 option. Number 4, listen, it is a shot in the dark. I tried to go a little creative with this list, so it's not just the same players you hear over and over and over again. We know that SDS loves up-and-coming players. I think Adley Rushman could find himself on a cover. We might be a couple years ahead of the game here. He is a superstar in the making. He had a phenomenal rookie season. I am not shortchanging his rookie season. He had 13 home runs as a rookie. I just don't know if... Let's go find Adley Rutschman's card now. I just don't know if Adley Rutschman is at that level yet. Among, like, American League East people know Adley Rutschman well. I am not sure if nationally, in the entire league, National and American League, people know Adley Rutschman at the level they should. SDS loves up-and-comers. Adley Rutschman's a switch-hitting catcher with a sweet swing. By all accounts, a super nice guy. Baltimore is on the rise. Black and orange is a sick color scheme to put on the cover of a video game, if I'm being completely honest. I think Adley Rutschman will be a cover star of MLB The Show within the next 5 years. If SDS is still around in the next 5 years, based on the product of games they put together. But I do think, like, Adley Rutschman's the type of guy who could be on a cover because of his potential. Also, we talk about logistics of putting covers together, how Aaron Judge delayed himself. I keep saying delayed, but you know what I mean, because he was a free agent. And the Yankees were in the postseason. The Orioles were not in the playoffs. If SDS really wanted to get a jump on this, they could have gotten Adley and his photo shoot done in October. That gives them so much more runtime to market and put materials together. Again, I am not sold on this. I am just offering... I work tangentially, kind of, sort of, in marketing. So there's a lot of stuff that happens behind the scenes that people don't realize. If they wanted to get an extra 3 to 4 week head start on that shit, call Adley Rutschman. Again, I think it's too early. I think we're a couple years ahead of time. But Adley Rutschman, I would not be stunned. I would not be stunned if he was on the cover. Okay? Let's move on to number 3. Number 3 is... What team does he play for? This team. Okay, so... This one's a little controversial. Not because of trash cans. But I think Jeremy Pena is a legit cover option for MLB The Show 23. If it's not him, let's just make this number 3 the Astros bucket. Maybe it's Bregman. Maybe it's Jordan. Maybe it's Altuve. But because Jeremy Pena is not associated with those quote-unquote cheating teams, take that for what you will. If you think they cheated, sure. If you think they didn't, sure. But there is some scandal related to those old teams, obviously. So Jeremy Pena is disassociated from that. Jeremy Pena is an up-and-coming star. He was the World Series MVP. He is young. He's exciting. He took over Carlos Correa's job and was just fine. Now, if we're being honest with ourselves, Jeremy Pena's regular season, while good, was just that. Good. His postseason was on another level. It was an absolute tear. Which player is he? Is he the very good regular season player? Is he an MVP caliber player? Is he in the middle? Is he less? Is he it is too early to actually decide what Jeremy Pena is. But SDS loves capitalizing on up and coming, exciting players. Exciting players. That's the key here. I think Jeremy Pena represents an Astros, or represents the removal or the moving past of an Astros negativity bias. Everybody had something against the Astros because did they cheat? Did they not? Did they, and then they couldn't get the monkey off their back of doing it the quote unquote right way. They won the World Series this year, in theory, the right way. Jeremy Pena was an enormous reason why, and now it is finally the opportunity, if SDS chooses to do so, to put a Houston Astro on the cover of the game. Again, maybe I'm overthinking the whole cheating thing. Maybe Jordan, maybe Kyle Tucker, maybe Altuve, maybe Bregman, maybe those guys are all legit options. But when you look at excitement, maybe Jordan, but Jeremy Pena is electric. There's something about him. There's a different quality to Jeremy Pena. I would not be surprised if Jeremy Pena was the cover of MLB The Show 23. Okay, moving on to option number 2. Our last 2 here. Now, of course, there were players I certainly excluded in this list. Again, YouTube, comment down below if you think I excluded anybody. Good old Manny Machado, a.k.a. Manny Manchowder, as good old Magunsky calls him. Manny Machado is on a Hall of Fame trajectory. Manny Machado had an MVP caliber season and basically carried the Padres. Carried the Padres well into the postseason. Obviously, he plays in San Diego. That makes things incredibly easy for SDS to work a cover shoot. That might also work against him because they just had Tatis on the cover 2 years ago. I don't know how quickly they want to go back to another San Diego player. But this is why I have ranked Machado so highly. The World Baseball Classic is this year. I am hoping and praying, as is much of the rest of the community, that SDS finds a way to tie World Baseball Classic content into the game. Manny Machado plays for the DR. He is one of the best players on the DR, which is a loaded team and probably a favorite, 1 or 2 or top 3 at worst, to win the whole damn thing. Manny Machado would be super cool as a cover star. You could give us a World Baseball Classic card of his early. It could be maybe what if MLB The Show 23 this year is like an international edition and it's World Baseball Classic themed. I don't know what the rights are with that. There might be a rights issue because World Baseball Classic is a different organization. It's not MLB. There's a lot of logistical crap to work through. But just think of the possibilities here with Manny Machado on the cover. We've also seen what a Padres cover can look like. The gold, the brown. I'm probably in the minority here. I love the Padres uniforms. I think they are sleek. I think they are clean. I think they are just professional looking. Manny Machado on the cover would be really cool. Manny Machado every year is a player we get a 99 of at some point. Might as well kickstart his content early with like an 88 or a 90 right off the rip and give us Manny Machado. And finally, there are no surprises here. Obviously, I think everyone's top option for a cover of MLB The Show 23 is J-Rod. Julio Rodriguez. J-Rod, we talk about superstars in the making. Adley is going to be incredible. Jeremy Pena is going to have a solid, if not excellent, career. J-Rod is on another level. This man is a 5-tool, 6-tool, 7-tool, 8-tool player, and I don't even know what that means. He's incredible. He is the soul of this new Mariners team that has life and pizzazz and potential every single season. You look at what he does, and he is the type of player whose personal personality, he's a gem of a human being. He's young, he's exciting, he's innocent almost, and I think that's kind of cool. But man, on the baseball field, this man is an assassin. This man is an assassin. I had to write all this down, so forgive me for reading it directly, but his rookie numbers were insane. He was the Rookie of the Year in the American League, obviously. He, quote-unquote, only played 132 games, so he missed 30 games. He missed a month. And in missing a month, he still hit 284 with a 345 on base. 345 on base for a rookie is incredibly impressive, especially when he was hitting just a tick under 300. This man is patient at the plate. He does a good job at the plate. He hit 28 homers. If he plays another 30 games, we're talking 35 homers. He had 75 RBI. We're pushing 90 plus, maybe 95 plus over a full season. 25 steals. He's a member of the 30-30 club easy in a full season. He was worth 6.2 WAR. Julio Rodriguez is going to be a future MVP. Fuck, it could happen this season. Julio Rodriguez is the next great Mariners center fielder. Like, Ken Griffey Jr., Julio Rodriguez. They're not in the same breath. I'm not putting them in the same breath, but as far as, like, cornerstone center fielder for a franchise, they're both that. I would be stunned if J-Rod is not the cover star. I just gave you guys 5 total options. The other 4 are, like, tiers below J-Rod. I think we can all get behind this. As a 21-year-old, this man is turning into one of the faces of baseball. The home run derby performance where he came in second certainly helped on a national stage. I think J-Rod would be an insanely cool cover. I love J-Rod. Mariners fans, you've got yourself a gem that every other team should be jealous that they don't have. But that's where my brain immediately goes for checking all the boxes. Young, exciting, 5-tool, universally loved, up-and-coming team, maybe even an underrepresented or hated on team, or disrespected team. West Coast certainly helps. He plays on the West Coast. That's easier to coordinate with photo shoots and marketing. Again, talking about all these things. I hope it's J-Rod. I would be super okay with any of the guys I mentioned. I mean, honestly, it doesn't matter. I'd be super okay with anybody being on the cover as long as it's not Aroldis Chapman or Domingo Germán, because they can go to the sun. But as far as I'm concerned, this is where everybody's mind should go. Right off the rip, Julio Rodriguez. And I know that's not creative, but I hope the first 4 options I gave you guys were creative. And that's going to do it for this episode of the show, the podcast. We've got a tight 20-minute pod in here. I hope you guys enjoyed. Please remember, YouTube, like, subscribe, and let me know who I missed. Or who, maybe not I missed, because I considered everybody, but who you think should be on there. You know, Paul Goldschmidt was certainly a guy that got some consideration because he was the NL MVP. Nolan Arenado, because he is perennially excellent. And, like, do people overlook Nolan Arenado every year? I feel like they do. Mike Trout is always in the back of our minds. Mookie Betts is always in the back of our minds. All of these guys are also good options, but just thinking of the way things work and popularity and blah, 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 these are the 5 I netted out on. All right, I hope you guys, again, had a happy new year. I wish the best to all of you in 2023. I hope it brings you everything you guys want, as long as you work for it. And look forward to more content from me the rest of the year. All right, guys, have a good one. Talk to you next week.